starting things off and
double V-Guard energy.
Yeah.
For Ciaran here.
Could be a little awkward, but all in all, we should see all of those interesting attackers for Ciaran to assist in the matchup.
Well, it looks like our players are pretty much ready. They have their Pokemon prizes are laid out. Kyle, are you ready to kick off this Hartford Regionals here?
Oh yeah, let's get the fist bump. Let's get rolling here. And it looks like Jose is going to start things off for us with maybe not his most ideal starter in that Zapdos.
Zapdos does have the ability to add 10 damage to your basic lightning Pokemon's attacks outside of Zapdos.
Whoa.
And that's not how you start things off.
You play Miraidon EX for a couple reasons, but mainly Tandem Unit's so good. Just getting out all of those Pokemon rolling. He does not even have access to it, just passing the turn.
Yeah, that is a hand full of supporters that you can't play on your first turn. And I honestly don't even see a research. It's just boss's orders, judge.
Well, maybe there's a bailout Mezagoza?
Maybe, yeah. Stadium here. Flip a coin if heads. Search your deck for a Pokemon, put it in your hand. Very useful in this Lugia V-Star deck, being able to find those Archeops that you can discard then with something like Ultra Ball. Get those in the discard, and Summoning Star next turn to grab those Archeops, put them into play.
Yep, Ciaran just going to get an additional look through. This is the first deck search, so seeing all of those fighting Pokemon certainly makes you feel good. Also, just staring across on the other side and seeing Zapdos. It's a really good feeling. There's nothing going on Jose's side of the board.
And we do see an Ultra Ball in Ciaran's hand here. Going to be able to discard that Archeops, but along with the Lugia V-Star.
Yeah, I think this leans towards a pretty solid commitment if you want to use the Professor's Research on this turn. You could go ahead and do that. We saw the Nest Ball as well, I believe, in hand, so could go for the additional Lugia. Maybe just doesn't trust the fact that Jose could certainly still pop off next turn, and you have to have that second Lugia ready to go.
Exactly. Yeah. This deck still is very good at getting an attacker on just a single turn of the game, thanks to that electric generator being able to charge up multiple energies. And you see here Ciaran doing just that, getting another Lugia V on the bench. That way you can almost guarantee that V-Star next turn.
Yep, so as we saw this, I didn't see if we had another Archeops. I'd assume you would just throw that away with the other Ultra Ball if you had the chance. So valuing this Stonejourner a little more than the second Archeops here, as is going to go for the research now to get these additional cards. Maybe seize the second bird this time.
Did discard a single strike energy, but one thing that this version of Lugia V-Star does have is that Urn of Vitality, being able to shuffle those back into the deck. And there is that second Archeops discarded with Read the Wind. Ciaran's going to draw 3 cards now, end the turn, but you got pretty much set up for next turn, just missing that V-Star.
Yep. Oh boy, here we go. Big Mezagoza flip. Jose would love to see anything but that. Says, well, that didn't work. Guess I'm going to go with this Beach Court and Judge for 4 cards.
Oh, no. All right. Jose still isn't out of it. You're going to have a lot of opportunity to draw. Pokemon Search, you have 3 Nest Ball and 3 Ultra Ball.
Now, with the Beach Court, you do have
the retreat here.
The retreat ready to go. So generator, energy, and maybe Miraidon. You can work something out. It's got to be 4 really good cards, Jeremy. Yeah. I'm worried.
I'm trying to see, is there even enough Pokemon in play for Raikou to be able to take the knockout?
You don't need many.
Especially with the Zapdos.
Yeah,
all right,
4
cards.
Miraidon would certainly line it up.
How about
oh, no.
Nothing?
How about you could fleet-footed for 1 card and be really sad?
Yeah, but then it's in the active spot. You can't generator to it. This has been a rough start for Jose's round 3 here. Both of these players are sitting at 2-0, having a pretty good start for today. Everyone's eyeing down that perfect 9-0 start. Give yourself the best buffer into day 2, but just a pass, and oh wow.
Yep, it's unfortunate. It does make sense though. You don't want to have that 200 HP Pokemon in the active spot lined up against a Lugia V-Star most likely this turn, as we did see both Archeops in the discard pile on turn 1 here for Ciaran. It's going to be a pretty devastating start here for Jose as he's staring down an entire perfect setup on turn 2.
Yeah, it's how you write it up. Heads on Mezagoza, heads on Capturing Aroma. You got your Lugia V-Star, Summoning Star ready to go.
Tails for your opponent's Mezagoza. Could not go much better. And then they also judge you into the boss's orders.
Yeah, this is rough here for Jose, to say the least. First Primal Turbo is going to find that gift energy, and honestly, yeah, another V-Guard. Charge up that Lugia V-Star and get things rolling.
Very strong start here. You start to worry for Jose, even if you do have the follow-up supporter next turn. What cards could you find here to feel comfortable in this situation, as you're likely staring down a pretty easy knockout here this turn, and then the Stonejourner should be lined up for the following turn. Ciaran could easily be up 3 or 4 prize cards.
And with the V-Guard energy, things are going to start getting a little tricky now too, just because you're going to need a lot more if you're trying to attack with Raikou. And there is that boss's orders. Knockout, discard that Beach Court, which is actually pretty big. Zapdos has 2 retreat costs, and ooh.
No. Finds another Regieleki VMAX. It's just going to be the belt to thin it out and use the Judge. Trying to find some additional cards. Maybe one time we see Miraidon, but yeah, you can definitely see the expression on Jose's face. Just, he's like, man, I don't even know what cards help me out in this spot. I need everything.
He was all hyped, even wearing the yellow shirt and ready for it. Now, big 4 cards off this Judge, but Jose is in a bad spot already to start things off. Down 2 prize cards, and it's looking like it's going to be even more. All right, Electric Generator. Ultra Ball.
Ultra Ball with the 4 Seal Stones. You'd have to discard it. Yep.
And, yep.
Might as well just discard the whole board as we're moving on to game 2.
Ciaran started things off exactly how you want a Lugia V-Star deck to start off. You get your early discards. Turn 2, you get that Lugia V-Star, Summoning Star. And from there, it was smooth sailing as he dispatched game 1 pretty quickly against Jose's pretty bad start.
Yep. Ciaran said he could hear us, so I'm a little worried.
Oh, no.
Ciaran, you're so talented. We love and respect you. You're going to do great. Let's just keep saying really nice, positive things over and over again.
All right, Kyle, what is, I think I know the answer, but what is Jose looking for this game 2?
The namesake of the deck, a Miraidon, would be really cool. Maybe multiple Pokemon onto the board, and what's that word? A setup would be great.
I'd go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's much better than Zapdos Energy Cry, which doesn't work out too well. Ends up looking like the Pictionary drawing that I had.
Yes. Wasn't it supposed to be Lugia?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Lugia. Things don't always go to plan, as we very well just saw for Jose. That did not work out at all.
That is the nature of the Pokemon TCG. And here, already a better start. Looking at a Klefki.
Double generator in triple generator.
And no basic lightning Pokemon to
I think there's a Raikou, but yeah. So fleet-footed, maybe you have to start off with the early bailout here. But with a Miraidon, maybe this could be a pretty strong second turn.
All right, both players putting their prizes out.
No Zapdos this time. One piece of the Urshifu, the VMAX, staying there in the prize cards. 3 lightning energies, so maybe the generators won't be as strong this time around.
You got 3 of them. It'll be fine. All right, we're looking for a Nest Ball or a Miraidon. And play has started here. Fleet-footed finds the Ultra Ball.
Oh, yeah, that is exactly what you're looking for. Desperately needed that card right there. Finding the Ultra Ball this time. Off the fleet-footed, the perfect find, as this will lead to the Miraidon and get that tandem unit rolling.
Discards the Klefki, and the switch cart is going to find that Miraidon EX, and it uses that tandem unit, able to search your deck for 2 lightning Pokemon, put them on your bench, and that's it. It doesn't end your turn, doesn't do anything else detrimental. It's just, yeah, I'm going to get 2 basic Pokemon for free.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite sayings. Good card.
Yeah, good card. Jose does exactly that, starting things off with that Miraidon EX, which was sorely missed game 1, grabbing a couple of Regieleki V, and Jose uses that Regieleki V Max to boost the damage of all these basic lightning Pokemon.
Yeah, this was something I was curious about. Sometimes we see players use that tandem unit and just go for the single Miraidon, but you can always go for the second one, reuse that ability on the second Miraidon, and get that full bench rolling. Sometimes in some matchups you want to have those 3 Regieleki V down. This doesn't exactly feel like that matchup. If you can get into an aggressive start, you can certainly just target down some of those V Pokemons and take them out.
So we went from 1 card off fleet-footed into a full bench here for Jose here, thanks to that tandem unit. And it is looking like a very different game than game 1.
Yep. Taking all those Pokemon out of the deck means that you should have some better odds here with the electric generator, and we do see at least 1 there. We'll take it.
1's better than nothing, Kyle. But 2's better than 1.
You're so good at math.
Thanks.
Well, 3 is better than 1 as well, as we see the other electric generators that are in hand here for Jose. So certainly could go for another one here.
Oh, no. All right. Maybe those 3 lightning in the prize cards. A little bit bad.
Yeah. I hinted at it, but you never want to actually see it happen. But unless you're on Ciaran's side, he's going, woo, all right. Maybe Stojourner will be able to stick around for a turn or 2.
Now, yeah, I like Jose holding that 3rd one here. You can't really thin anymore, so you're just at the mercy of your deck. And you don't really need anything else. I guess missing the energy for turn.
Yeah, I don't even know if there was supporter for next turn also. So
I think there's a judge.
Okay, good. So yeah, there's a little bit going on there, but no need to show that you've already got the attack rolling. It's something that you're not expecting to see a judge from your opponent on turn 1. And if they do, you've got 3 cards in hand. You're pretty fine just potentially finding an energy and a way to switch next turn.
Ciaran's going to start things off with Luminion V, Luminous Sign, search the deck for a supporter, put it in your hand. Going to eye down that Professor's Research, trying to discard some of these Archeops potentially in hand.
Yep, I did see at least 1, so that is the bare minimum. At least get at least 1 of those in there, and maybe you'll be able to accelerate some energies. But the key piece that we're missing there is Lugia. You need to have at least 1, but honestly, if you find 2, you'd feel much more comfortable in this spot, and was eyeing those out, looking through the initial deck search.
All 4 are in the deck. You saw Ciaran looking through for those specifically. And there's a lot of outs to draw into basic Pokemon in Lugia. It's probably one of the decks that plays the most search cards out of any deck in the format.
Yep, plenty of ways to draw into the right cards here. Gonna see that Urshifu V down, even though the V Max is in the prize cards, just values that Pokemon as a fighting attacker. And we'll see the energy down. 7 cards to the hand. Where is Lugia?
Big 7 cards here, capturing Aroma, Ultra Ball, Lugia. There we go.
Yep, can't ask for much more.
Couple heads.
Okay, you can ask for a little more.
Yeah.
As we see the initial tails there.
This is going to allow Ciaran to find a basic Pokemon from the deck and eye down a second Lugia V, which honestly is probably needed. Jose does play a lot of Boss's Orders to be able to bring up those Pokemon V and knock them out pretty easily.
Yep, this is a tricky spot where you never feel great playing down the 4th Pokemon onto the bench if you do go for the double Lugia V here, but in this situation you also definitely expect your opponent to open up that bench space for you if you do go for the double Archeops. They need to take prize cards to win this game.
And this was the awkward flip here from the second capturing Aroma. Another Tails finding another basic Pokemon, but Ciaran has an Ultra Ball in hand to discard an Archeops.
Yeah. It's going to be second fish, which you know you never want to play down that. There's just no bench space for anything of that sort. Just basically thinning this Pokemon out, and could use it for desperation later on if necessary.
It feels like Luminion's stock in Lugia V-Star in these decks has gone down dramatically with the loss of Aurora energy. Not being able to Aqua Return and take a knockout while also freeing up a bench space is really detrimental for it.
I've thought about playing one water.
Just one basic water.
Yeah, just, you know what? This would be good. I need to get this Pokemon out of here. You can still use it against Lost Zone decks and take some prize cards, but I don't think we're going to see it.
And you see here, Ciaran's debating playing the second Lugia V down. And granted, I think if you don't, a boss's orders is the worst possible thing to happen for you, especially because you're saving that Ultra Ball for a Lugia V-Star. You only have one Archeops in the discard. You're not going to need the bench space anyway.
Yeah, no, I certainly agree here. There's a lot of big threats here on Ciaran's side of the board. Even Stone Joiner Knockout, if the judge is not there, is a pretty solid one just to remove that single price fighting Pokemon from play, avoid that being able to cash in a big knockout at some point. So a lot of good targets here for Jose. We'll see if his hand will help him take any relevant one off the board now.
I think I saw a Forest Sealstone for the turn, or for Fleet-Footed.
Yeah, I see that in hand, along with what looks like a research and a judge. So a few options now. But Generator, Escape Rope. We need at least one energy here. Oh, yeah. We found it.
And the cool thing about Electric Generator is you can attach it to your bench Lightning Pokemon any way you like. So one energy on that Raikou V, one on that Miraidon EX, good to go.
That was pretty solid here. And when you have Escape Rope and your opponent has piles of V Pokemon on the other side of the board that you could potentially knock out, it feels pretty good.
Is 4 Pokemon considered a pile?
I think once you get past 3, you have to consider a pile, yeah.
Okay. Now, Ciaran can bring up that Lumineon V. It's the one that you kind of want to get knocked out.
Yep, it's the easiest prize card to give up. You don't really want to lose the Lugia early on. Urshifu still would stick around in this point. We haven't seen the Regieleki V Max.
But you have to think, just
it's not yet.
The single one will boost you up enough to take the knockout.
I mean, this Urshifu V was kind of bait anyways. We did not see the V Max as it was in the prize cards, so maybe just force your opponent to have that extra card there.
Well, there's that Forest Sealstone.
And that's why you sequence your cards correctly. Not giving away any additional information, able to play perfectly into this, and then also see 7 cards before using the Sealstone. Could potentially just find the out right here and then hold on to that Star Alchemy for later on.
And there is the second Fleet-Footed. It's a different Raikou V in the active spot, so you're able to draw an extra card there with your ability. And again, you want as much information as possible before you actually use Star Alchemy to find the card that you're looking for, because you could just draw into it and then find a card you need for next turn.
Yep, and we are going to see right there targeted early on, this Regieleki V Max is going to be likely the card that's added onto the board here. Could take the knockout on this Urshifu V and potentially take that knockout and get the prizes rolling for Jose, which we have not seen in, at all. Prize cards would be great.
In the past 28 minutes, yes.
Oh, I like this. Even thinking ahead, going to go for a little bit of thinning here, too. You can always search out that Ultra Ball and give yourself that opportunity. Hi, Joe.
Hi, us. Ultra Ball, discard double Klefki here. Is going to find that Regieleki V Max. And with that, Jose will have the ability to take the knockout with Lightning Rondo.
Yeah, this is very smart here. We see the Ultra Ball used there. Just thin out those Pokemon, and you don't want to see them at all. If your opponent does end up using a Judge at some point, you're not going to run into those again. And you get exactly what you need on board. Potentially another attacker lined up with that energy attachment for the turn, and big KO here to take the first 2 prize cards of the game.
Especially on that single strike Urshifu V, that fighting attacker to take on those lightning Pokemon.
I do not want fighting weakness. That is dangerous in the TCG.
Now Ciaran does have that Ultra Ball that was already in hand. Going to be able to discard Lumineon V and Gift Energy. Neither of those are Archeops, but is going to find the Archeops here, and I think what Professor's research in hand.
Yep, just trust that this will lead you to the Lugia V-Star. Still have that single prize Pokemon in that Sojourner ready to go, and you could easily charge that up. Get the Giga Hammer rolling and take the knockout here, and you'd feel decent in the prize exchange, but you are definitely losing in board state when you stare down Luminion V and multiple Lugia Vs against the Lightning deck that hasn't used a boss's orders yet.
Yeah, it's a little bad on paper and in practice.
Well, let's at least see the Lugia V-Star here, and then we'll start to worry about those things, because you definitely need this if you want to keep playing the game. Ultra Ball.
Okay, Ultra Ball and Capturing Aroma going to fire off that Capturing Aroma here, most likely.
Well, we know that this never hits heads. We've seen Ciaran roll this a few times now.
All right.
Told you.
This is going to find a basic Pokemon that Ciaran is going to want to discard. Probably another Lugia V. Again, you still just want to play the cards that you don't have the information for before you're playing a card like Ultra Ball. And I believe that was the Professor Burnett discarded along with that Lugia V. Grabs that Lugia V-Star. Summoning Star will have 2 targets in those Archeops in the discard.
Yep, I know. Those energies, just thinking about everything that's going to happen this turn, certainly should see the V-Star used here now, and the Archeops coming down, Primal Turbo ready to go, and that will line up the knockout on this Pokemon now.
Important to note that it is with the Stonejourner, which is a single prize Pokemon here. Lugia is one of those decks that just likes to trade 2 prize knockouts with a lot of the format, and you have to kind of break up that monotony with these single prize attackers, the Stonejourner, the Yveltal.
We'll see if the Gift Energy is the selection here. You could potentially work that into the mix and guarantee yourself some additional cards, or if you want to save that for a later turn, as you know that you're at least going to have one more Pokemon knocked out where Gift Energy could be a little more impactful.
Now, is Jose's game plan just ignore the Stonejourner for this game?
It depends, as certainly you could see prize map just says boss, boss, you win, you're the best, and we move on to game 3. But your opponent does play ways to disrupt you. You could run into that judge, of course, and then if you never answer this Stonejourner and also keep resetting the Giga Hammer on the other side, you're in trouble. It's just, you're gonna lose a lot of Pokemon in this mix.
And the fact that Jose's already been down 3 generators. It's going to be a little tough to charge up that last Pokemon for the knockout.
Sorry, I'm going to do this one too.
Well, yeah, with a hand this bad for Ciaran, it is surprising to not see the Gift Energy. Maybe you could go for it on a Pokemon that you think is going to get knocked out, and then maybe you can have some way of bringing them back, but just going to go for the double turbo now.
Yeah, important to note, you can search for 2 special energy cards, so double turbo, even though it counts for 2 energy in play, counts as only 1 from the deck. So opting not to choose the other one there. And yeah, handful of energy for Ciaran. Jose's bringing up that Raikou V. And again, you get access to Fleet-Footed as early as possible, just gives you more information. It's 1 energy away from being able to attack.
Well, Jose's turn is going to tell us a lot about the matchup and how he wants to go about it here. Has the energies to take the knockout, has the boss's orders in hand too. Now it's just a matter of if you want to do some additional thinning, go for that boss, and then try to safeguard yourself against a judge. Get a lot of cards out of your hand perhaps if you can, but not sure how many resources he has to really do that.
Nestball, again, just looking through the deck, seeing what you have available, what your outs are going to be for this turn. And I really think it's just, Jose, if you're going for that boss route, you need to find that last electric generator. Does play a couple copies of Arven to do that. There's the Fleet-Footed.
The additional card added. Plenty of energies to go here.
And again, the more energies you draw, there's also less in the deck for generator to hit.
Yep, And Jose definitely thinking about the potential for this Raikou V to be knocked out. Playing down the second one now, has the option to bring that into the active spot next turn and continue to draw cards. And maybe that would be the way to find that final boss's orders if you want to close out that route. But really debating this here, certainly can understand going either way. And it is going to be a race. Here we go.
Boss's Orders is going to bring up that Lugia V-Star. It has that 2 energy on it. Might as well be able to take the knockout. And like you said, this is a race now. Raikou is going to get taken out by this Stonejourner, and Jose is going to need to find that electric generator and hope to hit an energy off of it.
Yeah, this is not a list that features the experience share, I believe. So not having
no
access
share
to that is going to be unfortunate. Really has to bank on that one card there in combination with the judge, or with the boss's orders, in order to close out and take those final 2 prize cards. If not, it's not completely over just yet. You see Giga Hammer would likely be used here to take the knockout, and then would have to be a secondary Pokemon lined up, but we do see the Tyranitar getting worked into the mix now.
2 single strike energies found their way onto Tyranitar V from that Primal Turbo, and just a lot of energy in
Look
hand
at
for
that
Ciaran.
hand,
Yeah.
it's just awful. Considering using the Collapse Stadium now could certainly remove the Lumineon V off the board to help out with those easy prize cards, but Lugia V-Star also going to be a simple one. And finally now we see that gift energy.
Yeah, well, essentially, if this Stonejourner doesn't get knocked out, Jose's most likely winning on the next turn. So might as well get that gift energy on there, give you the most cards possible to try to find your outs.
And the out might just be
On
you
field.
knock out this Pokemon, and then I have to judge my energies back into my deck so that I can put them on my Tyranitar. Because almost all the energies in the deck are in the hand right now.
Collapsed Stadium is going to take out that Lumineon V from the bench and a Marrero EX from Jose's side of things. Limits the bench of both players to 4.
And Jose gets the relatively good news that he's going to keep his hand. I don't know if he has all the answers just yet, but certainly working with just 4 cards would have been tricky.
V-Guard energy on that Tyranitar V now, and Giga Hammer taking the knockout yet again for Ciaran.
Down to just 2 prize cards for both players. Board state certainly favoring Ciaran here, but Jose has the potential to find the right mix of cards. He's going to go ahead with the promotion of the Regieleki VMAX as you have that for your treat. But you do miss out on the fleet-footed.
Tandem Unit gonna eye the deck down a little bit more, but I believe all the basic Pokemon are out of it, even drawing that Drapion V for the turn. Taking a look at the resources that Ciaran's used as well. And I'm not sure with the play. Jose's kind of Megan. I think it might be a judge turn.
It might be a stall turn. You have a lot of hit points in the active spot, and you're not going to see the Giga Hammer once more. And maybe you just hope your opponent doesn't have boss's orders to knock out one of these Vs. It feels really weird. Just attaching, maybe using judge and hoping to get closer to the boss's orders on the next turn. But maybe you just have to take advantage of the fact that you have a ton of hit points right now.
Yep.
And that is going to be the play, it looks like, as we see the judge come down.
The good old judge and pray.
Love to see it.
4 cards for both players after they shuffle their hand into the deck. Jose is looking for a lot. Boss's orders for next turn, energy, and to have Ciaran not draw boss's orders or Serena.
Yep. I guess there's also the route where Ciaran draws Penny and maybe can work in a sneaky retreat, bring back into the Stonejourner and get the energies accelerated. Going to be very exciting to see what these 4 cards are for both players now.
Boss's orders.
Ooh, buddy.
All
there
right.
it is. Pass of the turn. Ciaran, I think he top-decked the boss's orders there.
No, already had it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It got floated up to the front of the hand and says,